Okay, this video is going to be talking about how to read inequality symbols and then how to graph inequality solutions. So this is an example of an inequality solution. And this is how each one of these reads. This is x is greater than 3, x is less than -2. And I'm reading them from left to right. When it has the line underneath, you can read this as x is greater than or equal to -1. And this one is x is less than or equal to 5. You can take a minute to pause this and write those notes down if you wish. Okay, moving on to graphing the inequality solutions. And we're going to graph these on a number line. You need to use the symbol to help you choose the correct circle when you're actually graphing. If it's a greater than or less than symbol, you're going to use an open circle. And if it's a greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, if it has one of those symbols that has the line underneath, you're going to use a closed circle. This is important. The variable can be substituted by a test point, and there's more on that in just a minute. All right, so here are some examples. X is greater than 3. Notice the symbol. There is no line, so we're going to use an open circle. So we're going to go where 3 is on the number line, and I'm going to put an open circle. But now I need to show where all the solutions are, where all the possible solutions are that can fit for this variable. Remember, this says x, this unknown number, is greater than 3. So where are the numbers that are greater than 3? Well, you can use a test point. Any point on either side here. So if I use 2, and I put 2 in here, is 2 greater than 3? No. If I use a 4 and plug it in here and read it, is 4 greater than 3? Yes. So you would want to point your solution where it's true. These are where all the numbers are greater than 3. So we can move on. X, or all the numbers, are less than -2. Again, what type of circle are we going to use? There is no line, so we're going to use an open circle. We go to -2, put our open circle, and these numbers have to be less than -2. This can be confusing when you're using negative numbers, but remember, as you move left on the number line, that's where the numbers are smaller or less than. So the -3 is going to be less than -2. And we'll point it to the left. And again, if you're not sure, use a test point. If I go way down here and use 5, if I plug a 5 in there, is 5 less than -2? No, of course not. 5 is greater than -2. So we have to point this to the left. All right, now we have our greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. And obviously, these two, having the line underneath, we'll be using the closed circle for these. So a closed circle at -1, make sure you fill it in. And we need to show where the numbers are greater than or equal to -1. Okay, well, the numbers are greater than -1 this way. And x is less than or equal to 5. So I'm going to use a closed circle at 5. These are where all the numbers are less than, and so I'll point it to the left. Now, so far the variable has been on the left-hand side, again, at our examples. The variable is on the left-hand side of all of the inequality symbols. But what if it ends up on the right side of the inequality symbol? You have two options. Here's your example. You can see how the variable is on the right side of the inequality now. Now this actually reads -1 is less than or equal to all the possible numbers. You have options here. You can use a test point and logic to graph it correctly. So first of all, what type of circle are we going to use? Remember, it's got the bar. So we're going to use a closed circle. So we go to a -1 and use a closed circle. But now we have to show where -1 is less than or equal to all the possible numbers. Okay, well, let's use a test point. Let's say I'm going to use 2. So if I use 2 as a test point for this x, it would say -1 is less than or equal to 2. Is -1 less than or equal to 2? Yes. So we would have to point it to where it's true. Okay, now option 2, if that doesn't make sense to you, if option 2, you can reverse the solution and then graph. So you're going to take this solution and completely reverse it. The x goes to the left. Look what happens to the symbol. That has to switch because the open side is towards the x. So now it says x is greater than or equal to -1. So we use a closed circle at -1. Where are the numbers greater than -1? To the right.